Most overland trips don't fail in deep mud. They don't fail on mountain passes. And they don't fail because the vehicle broke. They fail before the engine even starts. Because most people plan for the highlight reel, not for reality. Today I want to talk about why overland trips actually fail, especially for beginners, and how to avoid the mistakes that quietly ruin trips before you even leave home. Overlanding looks simple online. Pack the rig, drive into nature, find freedom. But overlanding is not just driving. It's planning, adapting, and managing energy, yours and your vehicle's. If you don't prepare for that, the trip feels stressful, not adventurous. Let's go through why it actually goes wrong. And no, I don't mean overplanning. Most beginners either plan nothing at all or plan so tightly that there's no room left to breathe. What I mean by pre-planning is understanding distances on dirt, not highways. Knowing your fuel range, food needs, and daylight hours. Having a rough daily rhythm, not a minute-by-minute schedule. You're not planning control, you're planning options. A trip without pre-planning doesn't feel spontaneous, it feels reactive. This is a big one. Most people have one route, one campsite, one plan. And the moment the plan fails, your stress levels spike. Weather changes, a road is washed out or closed, a trail is worse than you expected. Experienced overlanders always have a plan B route, a bailout option, and a let's turn back here point. Backup routes aren't pessimism, they're freedom. When you know your exit strategy, you relax and make better decisions. Overlanders love gear. I get it, I'm guilty of it too. But more gear doesn't solve poor planning. And sometimes, too much gear means longer setup times, slower morning routine, and more frustration, especially when you're tired. Proper overlanding is not about carrying everything. It's about carrying what supports your plan. If you packed something just in case, but don't know when you're actually going to use it, that's just added weight, not safety. Brand new gear, first use, middle of nowhere. That's how trips unravel. You should never be learning how your tent works, how to light up your stove, or how your packing system fits back after a full day of driving. Test gear at home. Do a short shakedown trip. Pack it, unpack it, replicate tired conditions. If it feels complicated when you're fresh, it's going to be chaos when you're exhausted. People usually underestimate how slow driving on trails can be, how draining rough terrain is, and how tired everyone in the convoy gets by day 3. So they push on. They ignore exhaustion. They chase the plan instead of reality. Overlanding punishes rushing. The best decision you'll make on a trip is knowing when to stop early, not when to push further. Weather doesn't care about your plan. Rain turns easy tracks into recovery zones. Cold drains energy. And heat kills motivation. Terrain changes everything. How much fuel you use, how long you will take, and what levels of stress you're at. The trips that fail are the ones where people try to force the original plan, not adapting. Good overlanders adjust without ego. It's part of the game. Changing plans isn't failure, but ignoring reality is. This is the overland therapy part. People head out thinking, this trip will reset me. But overlanding doesn't remove your problems. It removes distractions. Fatigue, silence, discomfort, they amplify what's already there. And that's not a bad thing. That's the point. But if you expect the trip to be easy, peaceful, and perfect, you'll think it's failing when it's actually doing its job. Here's the simple framework. Pre-plan for options, not control. Always have a backup route. Test all your gear before the trip. Build buffer time into every single day. Be ready to adapt to weather, terrain, and exhaustion. Choose calm decisions over perfect plans. If you do this, then suddenly your problems become manageable, your stress levels drop, and the trip actually feels like freedom. Most overland trips don't fail on the trail, they fail in your mind. If you plan well, adapt early, and respect your limits, overlanding stops being hard work and starts being what it's actually meant to be. If this video helped you, please drop a comment with the mistake you're trying to avoid. And consider subscribing for more overland therapy. And remember, the road doesn't change you. It just gives you nowhere to hide. We'll see you on the road or off it.